Hey everyone, it's Tim. I'm here with this week and last week's Frugal Things. I have 5 wins and 5 fails, and so without further ado, I'll just jump right into the list. I'll go ahead and just read through the wins first. So, over the last 2 weeks, I did end up with another day of incentive pay at work due to inclement weather. We got paid time and a half for our shift. As an aside for that, I also worked a bit of overtime, so picking up some extra money wherever I can. I won a $25 gift card for Target, so I've been kind of sitting on that. In the past, whenever I've won a gift card, I've usually ended up using it for groceries or things that I was going to get anyway, and so this time I want to try to sit on it and look into getting a air purifier, so or a humidifier, I mean. So I don't know how much those are. For all I know, $25 is just a drop in the bucket, but I am going to hold on to that gift card until I can get something that I really need and wouldn't have gotten otherwise. Speaking of winning things, I also won a giveaway from Annie's Simple Life YouTube channel. She is all about natural products and essential oils, and I really enjoy watching her. And I won a Thieves essential oil cleaning product giveaway, and so I received that, and I'm excited to try that out and, potentially implement that in my home, so that will definitely be a frugal win down the road, big picture. So let's see, I also, in a previous video when I did my closet makeover, showed you the dresser in the closet, and the 2 of the 3 drawers were damaged and kind of bowed, and so my clothes would get stuck in that hole, and I'd have to tug them out, and it's just been a headache for the last 6 years. And I've been meaning to either replace the dresser altogether, because it was free to me, a friend passed it on, or repair it, and like it's an IKEA dresser, so I imagined getting the pieces to fix it wouldn't be too much of trouble. But what I ended up just doing, because I don't care, was using bright orange duct tape to repair the drawers, and I really don't care. It was a free dresser. I have clothes in there, so I don't see the tape, and it was cheap and it was free because I had the duct tape already, which is why it was bright orange. I could have done, silver to match the gray dresser a bit better, but it's fine. So, that was a frugal win. I was pretty proud of that. And then finally, one of my goals for 2017 was no overdrafts, and I, on January 17th, kicked off the year with 2 of them because I'm doing the cash envelope system, and I was so proud of myself. I took all the money out, had it in my cash box, and then I went online and I paid my bills, and I wrote my checks, and then the snowstorm happened, and I was just basically trapped at home or getting to work and just focusing on that, and didn't even occur to me that I needed to put my money from my cash envelopes into my bank. So I got 2 overdraft fees from 2 checks that I had written, and I could definitely turn off the overdraft protection, and that way checks would bounce and my card would be declined, but I'm just not really comfortable with that yet. I understand why this happened. This wasn't just an example of me spending my money carelessly and whoops, I got an overdraft, which is what every other case has been. But this time I was really trying, and I just had a bit of a slip up, and so I'm giving myself one more chance, and if I get one more overdraft, I'm going to go ahead and discontinue that ability. But the way I turned this from a frugal fail into a frugal win is I was pretty mortified. I didn't want to have to come on here and say, so my goal, 2 weeks in, whoops, 2 overdrafts, that's like $68. So I wasn't going to say anything, but then I had to take a hard look at myself and say, Tim, the reason you're doing this is because you have a problem and you want to get better, and so you need to hold yourself accountable, you need to put it out there. And so that kind of prompted me to going into the bank and asking if they would take care of it, because I haven't asked for an overdraft to be refunded in a couple of years, because I've just owned, whoops, I made a mistake, I guess I'm going to spend $34 to be able to eat out at that restaurant, or to prevent my rent check from bouncing. It's cheaper than the late fee for my rent check would be. So I've just kind of done that. And so I went in and I asked, and I had one from December too, which was another example of, whoops, I'm just going to go ahead and live with that. And they ended up going ahead and refunding all 3 of them. So I got $102 back. And I only got it because I asked, and I only asked because I have this video that I would have had to put it in. So if I hadn't been doing this series, I would have been out $102. Again, Well, okay, so my brother-in-law works for a bank, and he let me know that they only will do up to $102 for a year. And I don't plan on having this issue again because I'm putting systems into place with the cash envelopes and planning ahead, and I'm working 2 jobs and everything. So I don't think that it's going to be a problem. I was really just discouraged that it happened so early in the month with my goal to not have any overdrafts. But they took care of them. I'm good. I get paid on Tuesday. It is Sunday, and I'm good. So here's to moving forward without any additional overdraft fees. That segues nicely into the frugal fails over the last 2 weeks. Let's see. So I did have a goal not to use Lyft, which is like Uber if you use Uber, or maybe you use Lyft. But it's just basically you can use your app on your phone to call a driver to your location. It's like a really nice taxi cab service, but it's all done through your mobile device. You pay there. You can rate the driver. I much prefer it to taxi cabs. Totally. I just love it way more. So I had a goal not to use Lyft because I do have a bus pass, which costs me $100 for the month to use the bus or the TriMet Max Light Rail train unlimited throughout the month. And so because I have that, I prefer not to use the taxi cab services because it's just more money coming out of my pocket when I've already spent money to get where I need to go because I don't have a car. And there was a day or two where I was running late for work and I missed my bus, so I just took a Lyft to get there. And then I was going to meet some girlfriends for happy hour and I was going to be running late. I tried to budget enough time to get from where I work to the restaurant using just buses. And I like that. I don't care if it takes forever on the bus. I have my book. I can read. It's fine. I can watch YouTube with my headphones in. So, I don't mind longer commutes. But on this particular day, I worked late, so I was going to be late to dinner. So I just needed to get there, and I used a Lyft to get there. So, a couple Lyft trips, but I will say that there were some others that I was inclined to just take a Lyft, but I said, no, I'm not going to do it, I'm going to take the bus. So that one was kind of a half and half, but I didn't make my goal of no Lyfts at all. There was also a date. I went on a date, and then he stood me up and didn't show up at all. So after half an hour of waiting, I just ended up, I'm going to take a Lyft home. I don't want to deal with this. So there was another day that I took a Lyft home. Let's see. I did throw away 2 sets of leftovers. I went out for dinner once, and I had a leftover quesadilla, which I tossed a few days later. And actually, that was thrown away for me. It was in my fridge at work, and it got thrown away. And then I had lunch. I got a chicken teriyaki vegetable rice thing, and I ate a bit of it, but saved it for lunch the next day, and then I ended up doing something else for lunch the next day, and then I just didn't. When I saw that my quesadilla had been thrown away, I was kind of like, I don't want this either, so I threw that away too. So I had 2 leftovers that were tossed, and then there was a bit of food from the fridge that I tossed too, like some bagels that had gone bad. So far I'm not off to a great start of my not wasting food goal either, but you live and learn. Let's see. I don't know what that says. Oh, I didn't do any grocery shopping over the last 2 weeks, which is kind of why I've spent so much money eating out. But I've been doing it. I haven't been spending a ton of money, and I've been using my MAD money to do it. And so while I went over budget a little bit with my eating out, I didn't spend any money on groceries, so that $60 went to that as well. And it is what it is. I am not negative, though. That's what the whole point of all this is, to manage my money and not be negative. And today I'm not negative, so it was obviously okay. And I guess, as a direct relation to not meal planning and not shopping, I ate out all the time. So that was another frugal fail. So with all those things, I had 5 wins and 5 fails. I could do better, and I will this week. Have a good one, and I'll talk to you next time.